Your fuel economy drops from 30 miles per gallon to 22 miles per gallon over a few months. You check your tire pressure, fine. Air filter looks clean. Nothing obvious is wrong. So you keep filling up more often, spending an extra $40 to $60 per month on gas without knowing why. Here's what's actually happening. A bad oxygen sensor can cause gas mileage drops of up to 40% by feeding your engine's computer incorrect information. And that's just one of 5 sensors that, when dirty or failing, silently drain your wallet at every fill-up. After 25 years of diagnosing fuel economy complaints, I can tell you that most drivers never think about these sensors until they completely fail. But here's the thing, if the sensor's elements are just dirty, it will constantly misread your air ratio and possibly cause lower gas mileage long before it triggers a check engine light. Today, I'm showing you the 5 hidden sensors that are costing you money right now, how to identify when they're the problem, and most importantly, which ones you can clean yourself versus which ones need replacement. Let's save you some serious cash. Modern vehicles use dozens of sensors to manage fuel delivery, and your engine's computer relies on accurate data from every single one. When even one sensor gets dirty or starts failing, the computer makes decisions based on bad information, and that almost always means wasting fuel. Your engine needs a precise air-to-fuel ratio for optimal combustion. The ideal ratio is 14.7 to 1, but real-world conditions change constantly. When sensors feed incorrect data, your engine either runs too rich and wastes fuel, or too lean and loses power, making you press harder on the accelerator and burning even more fuel. These sensors don't always trigger check engine lights when they're degraded. As sensors get old, they don't necessarily fail, they get lazy. A good oxygen sensor shows constantly changing readings. As the sensor ages, these changes slow down. You can lose 3 to 5 miles per gallon long before you ever get a warning light. Let's start with the sensor that affects fuel economy more than any other. The mass airflow sensor measures the amount of air entering your engine. If the sensor is dirty or inaccurate, it may over-report airflow, causing more fuel than necessary to be added to the mixture. This wastes gas and lowers your MPG. Symptoms include inconsistent idling, stalling, sputtering, gradual MPG decline, hesitation during acceleration, and check engine codes P0100 through P0104. You can clean this sensor yourself in about 10 minutes. Locate it in the air duct between the throttle body and air filter box. Remove it carefully. Spray the wire filaments using MAF-specific cleaner. Do not touch the sensor elements. Let it dry completely for 10 to 15 minutes and reinstall it. Some vehicles benefit from disconnecting the battery for 15 minutes to clear old fuel trim data. Real-world results often show MPG increases of around 3 miles per gallon immediately after cleaning. Considering a new MAF sensor can cost up to $400, cleaning it regularly is one of the best maintenance steps you can take. Next is the oxygen sensor. If your vehicle is over 80,000 miles and you've never replaced the oxygen sensors, this is likely your problem. The O2 sensor measures oxygen levels in the exhaust and helps adjust the fuel mixture. When it becomes worn or contaminated, fuel efficiency can drop by 15% or more. In extreme cases, up to 40%. A lazy O2 sensor can cause MPG loss for months before triggering a check engine light. Symptoms include gradual MPG decline, black exhaust smoke, poor mixture control, and eventually a check engine light. Unlike the MAF sensor, oxygen sensors cannot be effectively cleaned. They get contaminated internally by carbon, oil vapors, and heat. Replacement is the only reliable fix. Only the upstream oxygen sensors before the catalytic converter affect fuel economy. Most vehicles have 2 to 4 oxygen sensors, but the upstream ones are the important ones for MPG. Manufacturers generally recommend replacing O2 sensors around every 100,000 miles. Replacing old sensors can restore 15 to 18% fuel economy, and some drivers have seen improvements of 30% or more. Quick question. When was the last time you had your O2 sensors replaced? If you're driving a vehicle with over 100,000 miles on original sensors, drop your mileage in the comments. Now let's talk about the throttle position sensor. This small sensor measures the position of your throttle and tells the computer how much air the engine should get. When it's faulty, your engine doesn't receive the correct fuel mixture. Symptoms include dramatic MPG loss, hesitation or surging, jerking, poor acceleration response, and rough idle. Cleaning the throttle body can sometimes help, but the TPS itself usually needs replacement. Mechanical wear inside the sensor causes inaccurate readings. Most TPS units last 60,000 to 100,000 miles. A failing TPS can reduce fuel economy by 2 to 3 miles per gallon. Next is the engine coolant temperature sensor. This one is sneaky. It tells the computer the coolant temperature. If it fails, it usually makes the engine think it's cold, which triggers a richer fuel mixture. This makes your engine run inefficiently the entire time, wasting fuel. Symptoms include poor fuel economy, black smoke, rough idle on startup, strong gasoline smells, and check engine codes P0115 through P0119. This sensor cannot be cleaned. It must be replaced. A stuck cold ECT sensor can reduce MPG by 10 to 25%. On a vehicle that gets 25 miles per gallon, this can drop it to 19 or 20 miles per gallon. Replacing it is inexpensive and usually takes under 30 minutes. Finally, the MAF sensor. Vehicles without a MAF sensor usually have a MAF sensor, and some vehicles have both. The MAF sensor measures engine load based on vacuum pressure. If it's dirty, it sends incorrect readings, causing the engine to underfuel or overfuel. Symptoms include decreased MPG, hesitation, rough idle. Check engine codes P0105 through P0109, and black smoke. The good news, you can clean a MAF sensor. Remove the sensor, spray it with MAF or electrical contact cleaner. Let it dry for 10 to 15 minutes, and reinstall it. This sensor often becomes contaminated by intake air and oil vapor over time. Let's recap the 5 sensors affecting your fuel economy. The MAF sensor can be cleaned and often improves MPG immediately. Oxygen sensors must be replaced. The throttle position sensor usually needs replacement when worn. The ECT sensor must be replaced when faulty. The MAF sensor can usually be cleaned effectively. If your MPG has gradually declined, start with MAF and MAF cleaning. If your vehicle is over 100,000 miles, check your oxygen sensors. If you experience hesitation or surging, test your TPS. If MPG suddenly drops and your exhaust smells rich, check the ECT sensor. Spending $50 on sensor maintenance can recover 3 to 8 miles per gallon. Over 15,000 miles per year, even recovering just 3 miles per gallon can save around $175 annually. Now that you know which sensors to clean, what about your fuel injectors? Next week, I'm revealing whether fuel injector cleaners actually work or if they're just expensive snake oil. Subscribe and hit the bell for more money-saving automotive content. Drop a comment with your current MPG and vehicle mileage. I'll tell you which sensor is most likely causing your problem. Thanks for watching.